Because if you're making that much money and you have no accounting of it, then really it just don't matter to you. And that's fine. But that's a risk you take. You have to understand that if you're not looking at your finances, anything could be going on with it.
So basically, don't marry a thieving woman.
She's
a thief, bro.
It was their joint
He's
account.
married to the woman and she's pulling money out.
It was a joint account.
No,
It was
he
a joint
married,
account.
bro. He married a woman and said, "I trust you with the finances. Don't worry about shit. I'ma work. I'ma trust you with the finances. So if I put my trust in you to make sure that you keep the finances and you pulling money out on the low for years, you're stealing.
It's not stealing.
It's stealing.
I don't know. Well, that's
So let me get this straight. You have money that the husband is making. She's taking it without his knowledge and keeping it from him. And somehow that's not stealing. That's crazy.
Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Anderson too. They fought for justice and rights were overdue. In the black community, we see our share of pain, but through it all, we rise up and reclaim. Rise up, black community, let your voice be heard. Together we'll stand, hold on to every word. We've been knocked down, but we won't stay defeated. We'll rise up, unite, and build us.
Hey, welcome and thank you for stopping by today from Black Veteran Channel, where I discuss everything from military, employment, sports, dating, the world, just through the eyes of a black veteran. And today I'm gonna take some time to discuss this video that's been going on, where a wife took $47,000 and put it away for an escape fund. Yes, she said it, an escape fund. Now, this was a stay-at-home wife. Just keep in mind, they had no children involved here. It was just her husband and her. And for some reason, she thought having an escape fund to escape the marriage that he didn't know about, not for a rainy day for the family or for her and him. It was just for her. Now, some people may say, well, if she's a stay-at-home mother, which she wasn't, if she's a stay-at-home wife, isn't she entitled to money for herself? And I would say this: she's entitled to money. She's entitled to a proceeds of what he's bringing in. But to hide it and call it an escape fund, that's just for her, and that's just for her only. But that's just my brief opinion. I want you to take a look. And as we go through it, you tell me, what do you think?
All right, so these are actually her words from the post. Am I the asshole for not giving my husband my escape money when I saw that we were financially struggling? I'm a 34-year-old female, have recently ran into a situation with my husband, who's a 37-year-old male, and I'm curious about if I am the asshole here or not. So me and my husband have been together for 8 years, married for 7. When I got married, my mother came to me privately and talked about setting aside money as a rainy day escape fund if worse came to worse. My husband has never showed any signs of being dangerous and rarely even gets upset, but the way my mother talked about it, it seemed like a no-brainer to have. When me and my husband, I really don't like that. When my husband and I got together, we agreed I would be a stay-at-home wife. We are both child-free, so that was never a concern. My husband made a comfortable mid-six-figure salary. All was good until about 2 years ago. He was injured at work in a near-fatal accident. Between hospital bills and a lawsuit that we lost that ate up nearly all of our savings, I took a part-time job while my husband was recovering. But when he fully recovered, we transitioned back into me being unemployed as my husband insisted. that it was his role to provide. He currently is working 2 full-time jobs and Ubers on his off days to keep us afloat. Here is where I might be the asshole. I do all of the expense management and have continued to put money into my escape account, although I significantly decreased from $750 a month to just $200 a month. My husband came home exhausted one night and asked about downsizing because the stress of work was going to kill him. I told him downsizing would not be an option as I had spent many years making our house a home and offered to go back to work. He tried to be nice, but basically told me that me going back to work wouldn't make enough. After an argument, my husband went through our finances to see where we could cut back. He was confused when he saw that I had regular occurring withdrawals leading back years and asked me about it. I broke down and revealed my money to him.
My money.
Which now sits at about $47,000. After I told him all this, he just broke down sobbing. His point of view is that I treated him like a predator and hid money from him for years, even when he was at his lowest. I told him that the money was a precaution I would have taken with any partner and not specific to him. He left the house to stay with his brother and said, I heard him on every possible level, but my mom says this is exactly what the money is for and should bail now.
I fucking hate them.
That's messed up.
I hate all of them. Anyone like that, I dislike you. I despise you. You shouldn't be married.
I think it was selfish.
Now, right there, that was an issue. Did you see what she mentioned? That her mother came to her and is telling her to, hey, you need to put aside this money for an escape plan. Where's the advice of, hey, you need to figure out how to work things out together? Where's the advice that, hey, well, maybe you need to continue to have counseling? Or what about the advice of, make sure if this is your husband and he's leading, make sure you follow his lead? Where is that advice? But her first thing that she's explaining is how her mother is making a divide, is separating the marriage before it even began by putting aside something just for her. This is how marriage is, and this is how things go down the drain really quickly.
That's extremely selfish.
Very selfish.
Okay, go ahead.
She keeps saying my escape, my
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
my. And it sounds like she's getting terrible information from her mother, who probably went through something with her ex or in her past. And she's already said that he wasn't abusive or he wasn't dangerous. So
That was never a marriage
Can I
based
play
off
devil's
love.
advocate
No,
real
you
quick
can't.
before we start getting on the same page on the couch?
Nope.
My
There's no need to play
no,
devil's
okay,
advocate.
well,
And right there, I kind of agree with him. I know it's a saying that people normally say, hey, let's play devil's advocate. Why in the world are you advocating for the devil? What good is going to come out of that? Just think about what you say before you say things, because why are you advocating for the devil, the evil and manipulative side? Oh, wait, never mind.
my only statement in playing devil's advocate is I think that her mom gave her that advice because her husband insisted that she was a stay-at-home wife, which means she would have, I mean, her money would have come from him, his money, her money, or whatever. But in the case that they got divorced, I don't know what their divorce agreement or if she signed a prenup or anything like that. I don't know. But I think that was just advice so that she'd have something for herself. Because you
Which is
can't just like
understandable,
be
too.
at home twiddling your fingers,
Absolutely.
just being like, okay, well, I can only get money if he gets money. And if he's not getting money, then I don't have shit to do.
Well, sick.
Man, oh man, there was a lot of things to unpack there. First off, one of the things that we need to look at is the fact that she stated, hey, that things went bad. He got injured at work, did a lawsuit. A lot of their money dried up. Now, she went to work. Kudos. That was wonderful. That was a great thing to do for your partner. It was. It really was. That's how you work together. When he's down, you pick up the slack. When she's down, you got it. That's how a marriage works. Not what some of these people are saying today, saying they don't want to contribute nothing and all that. Because again, that's how things work. Where she went wrong. You have money put aside. You say nothing to him. She went from 750 down to 200, and oh wow, again, saving money is not a bad thing. But if he don't know about it, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Because what did he say? He got hurt. He got injured. He wanted to downsize. He literally came to his wife. Now, women always say, come to me, tell me what's going on, express yourself, tell me what you need. All right, that was a bad impression. But when he did that, what did she do? Oh, I can't downsize. Remember, it's just two of them. Two of them. No, I can't downsize. I go back to work. Did she mention the money she put aside? No, she did not. That's bad. That's horrible. Men will literally die to provide. And for her to let him die instead of saying, you know what? Here's the money I put aside. That's a problem. That's a problem that a lot of people just don't seem to understand. Or let me rephrase that. A lot of women don't seem to understand. Now, just imagine this for a brief minute. What if he was putting money aside and didn't tell her about it? And he headed for his escape plan for the same thing she headed for. How would people look at him? See, this is what I mean, where everyone wants to say that men and women are supposedly equal when we're not. We're different. We're different people. Men will go out there and break their butts and, as he said, almost work himself to death to provide. And she see that happening. And he's being vulnerable. And instead of saying, you know what, I had this money put aside. I know you've been doing everything. For 8 years, you had us locked down. And for her to just keep it to herself, that was one of the most selfish things out there. And this could break a man and break a marriage. So hear me when I say this. This man came to his wife, as he is told to do, explained to his wife that, hey, we need to downsize. It's killing me. And again, she had another opportunity to say, hey, I've been putting this money aside. She didn't do that. She took that opportunity to say, hey, maybe I'll go back to work. And when men do the calculation, they say, well, it's not even worth it because your job is not going to bring enough to cover everything. So let's just downsize. And oh no, she's more focused on the appearance. I made this house a home. You can make any house a home. It's only just the two of them. It's not like they had 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. It was just the two of them. They can make any house a home. But her pride and her selfishness couldn't think of nobody else. Because again, from the start of the marriage, she had that divide. She separated herself from the start, putting that money up. That's what she did. So when women say, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mother, this guy did that. But it still wasn't enough. It's one of those things I was told some years ago. You can never make another person happy. They have to be happy within themselves because they can always find fault in something you're doing. And in this case, he was doing what he was doing. He was providing for the home, providing for the lifestyle, providing for her. And one thing that she could have done that made things a lot easier is that, hey, in the beginning, I'm going to put this money aside. This is what I'm putting aside. Talk to him. Or if she wanted something personally for herself, Just say that to him. Say, hey, I know you're bringing in this money, you're doing this, but it's okay if I take a certain amount and put it up. Wow, you see how open and honest that was? She didn't do that. So she was being deceitful from the start. So what do you expect a person to do that was being deceived from the very beginning of the marriage? But then men get blamed for everything.
6 out of the 8 years that they were together, he was making mid 6 figures.
Right.
Correct? Right? So he's making money. Now, it's one thing to, have a conversation with your significant other, especially when you're married, and say, hey, I would like to have X amount to do whatever it is I want to do. Right? If I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife and you're going to be the one making all the money, I need to have access to this amount of funds so I can have fun doing my extracurricular activities. Therefore, I don't have to feel as if I'm just tied to the house. And I have the opportunity to then grow and start whatever business endeavors that I may want with the money that I do get. That's entirely different.
Okay, I'm going to say something a little, I don't know, maybe not mainstream or something that people may think a voice, or it may be amongst a certain group of men. But women who stash money secretively, not telling her husband or her man that she's doing it. Not only, it's one thing if it was just her money, if she's working and putting this aside, that's one thing. It's still bad, it's still wrong. But when he's bringing in the money for the household, and you're taking from that money, and you putting it aside, and you keeping it secret for you to escape, first off, there's a bunch of other things that you can be deceptive about, so that trust is gone. And 2, that's, in some men's eyes, and I was going to use just my personal opinion eyes, that's similar to a man having a ex-woman or a woman put aside that he can always go back to. Now, he's not entertaining her, like taking her out on dates or doing anything like that, but that's like keeping her to the side. So, hey, if this marriage break up, I'm gonna go back to her. That's not right. So it's not right on both ends, but the problem is when you get into a marriage like this, you're supposed to be open and honest with each other. Being deceptive and deceitful, it's a lie. If you lie about one thing, there's other things you could lie about. So what is the purpose of it? And then the lie is not a lie saying, hey, I was putting this money aside for us, out of mind for us. It was never about us. It was only about her. That is devastating. But some women may understand it, some may not. But that is. I don't know if a marriage could be reclaimed or back to where it should be after that. Just like how some people may feel the same way about adultery. This is very similar. It's this deceptiveness.
Go and start whatever business endeavors that I may want with the money that I do get. That's entirely different. When you're taking money and unknowingly, right? There's no conversation within you two.
It's not unknowing.
Well, he didn't know. She ran all the finances and...
Now, did you just catch that? Throughout the whole thing, the wife stated that her husband did not know. And somehow, this woman saying it wasn't unknowingly. Even in the statement and what's being said and the facts, some people, in this case some women, will still make up their own truth. This is why when someone say my truth, yeah, it could be your truth, don't mean it is the truth. So you blatantly just disregarded the fact that the wife kept saying, my husband did not know. And then this man said unknowingly. Well, it wasn't unknowingly. Really?
He had to find out when he actually had to look back
Stealing.
at. Yeah, you basically was.
That's wolf.
So like you're taking the money without your significant other knowing on a monthly basis for years. And not only did you do that, when times actually got rough, right? You would rather try to work than try to reveal. And that's where I really have an issue, because now I know it was never for us. It was only for you. And
It wasn't. Well, she said that. She said, this is my escape fund. So the savings wasn't for like a rainy day for them. It was her escape if I ever needed money for myself.
I just hate that it's
The whole unfortunate part about this is, did you hear what the woman stated? If you making that much money and you don't know what's going on with it, it's your fault. I'll say this. If you in a marriage and you trust your spouse, your significant other, with the financing, that means you trust that person, and that person do something wrong and mismanage it, steal it, lose it, whatever, it is not your fault that it happened, but it's your responsibility, because you chose that person and that person did that. But to try to blame you for trusting, there is a reason why divorce rate is at 50%. There's a reason why 70% of divorces are filed by women. There's a reason why money is a big reason why it is divorces for individual who thinks like her. And that's almost when you hear about guys getting finessed and taken advantage of, or women getting finessed and taken advantage of. What they call that, victim blaming. It's very similar to that. If you put your trust in someone and then they betray your trust somehow, well, you should have known. You let me do it. Come on, man. What happened to decency in human beings? You know what's wrong and what's right. Because if it was right, why would you hide it? If it was right, why did you keep it a secret? If it was right, why did you have a discussion about it? It's these things that not only hurts marriages, and also, if you look at the stats, Black community is the lowest marital rate and one of the highest divorce rates. What's that number out there? Well, 1 in 4 Black women ever get married. 1 in 4.
Because if you making that much money and you have no accounting of it, then really it just don't matter to you, and that's fine. But that's a risk you take. You have to understand that if you're not looking at your finances, anything could be going on with you.
So basically, don't marry a thieving woman.
She's
a thief, bro.
It was their joint
He's
account.
married to the woman and she's pulling money out.
It was a joint account.
No,
It was a
he
joint
married,
account.
bro. He married a woman and said, "I trust you with the finances. Don't worry about I'ma work. I'ma trust you with the finances. So if I put my trust in you to make sure that you keep the finances and you pulling money out on the low for years, you're stealing.
It's not stealing.
It's stealing.
I think
No,
the trust
that's
is-
And that is what is the problem. If you don't trust, or if you think like this and say, hey, I need to put aside money to escape. In most states out there, they have marital laws. They have alimony, spousal support in most states. So let me get this straight. When people say, hey, let's sign a prenup. Oh, you're expecting us to get a divorce. I don't want to sign a prenup. You're expecting something to go wrong. You're expecting it worse. But then, if he don't, you, as a woman, must put money aside to escape. So again, you expected something to go wrong. You expected something to get bad. But I guess you want the control of how much you put aside. this is the biggest issue out here. Now, I'm not saying don't get a prenup, because there are bad people out there. But what I'm saying is, if you going into a marriage, and you're blatantly putting money aside, because at least a prenup, it's up front. It's being open and honest, saying, hey, if things go bad, this is how things will work, and this is how much you will get, and this is what is set aside. Whereas the way she rather do it is, let me do it in secrecy, let me hide it, let me put as much as I want, and you will never know about it. A big difference. A huge difference. And see, this is the problem. Most men don't think this way. Most men don't. There are some that do, but most men don't think this way. But it's unfortunate where it seems like most women think the way she did. Because again, where did she get her information from? She got it from her mama. Good job, Mom. So thank you for stopping in, taking a look at it. Make sure you like and share, subscribe, but also leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what could have happened differently to make this end differently. I'll link the full video in the description below, so you can go check it out. In length, it's about an hour long. Didn't want to take up that much of your time, but I did want to touch bases on certain things here to see and to talk about how people are thinking out there and how people are entering marriages, and you enter in wrong. It's a self-fulfilled prophecy. It is a self-fulfilled prophecy. It will go wrong. So, again, thank you for tuning in. I be dropping another video soon. I'm just saying, we need to stick together. We need to work together. And when you start into marriages like this, it's not going to end well. Be good, be safe, and let's keep our community better. Let's make it grow. Check you next time.
We've been knocked down, but we won't stay defeated.